Beautiful Friday, everyone. Welcome to our viewers on Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube. My name is Sandra Bichl, and I'll be sharing with you global job market trends, a summary of June 2002, prepared by Career Angels. While everybody's tuning in, let me give you a little bit of background. What are market signals? What are those global job market trends? With the beginning of COVID-19, but also now continuing with the war in Ukraine, etc., we want to understand how pandemics, wars, and other major events impact the job market and how they are actually affected. So over the last 26 months, we have been tracking 80 countries around the world. We have gathered 88,844 data points. We have received insights from over 400 executives, HR directors, and executive search consultants. We have published 85 monthly reports, 451 daily reports, and 13 special reports. Whilst it's important, why do Career Angels do that? For those who do not know Career Angels, we're a career consulting boutique, and we have been supporting experienced professionals, managers, and executives in a career management and job search for now over 12 years. And as you can imagine, whenever something big happens, our clients, prospect, and our community, the first thing they do is get in touch with us and ask us, is it a good moment to be looking for a job? What do you think? Is it enough if I post a job ad and pray for candidates to apply? Will that approach work? And that's why we've turned to analytics and data to understand what's really happening on the market. I hope everybody who has wanted to tune in has tuned in the meantime. Where do you find our reports and the data? On the one hand, we publish it on SlideShare. So this is one source where you can find the published reports, especially the special reports. We also have our LinkedIn, a dedicated LinkedIn showcase page called Market Signals. On Market Signals, as it says, collecting and analyzing market signals, precursors of trends for better decisions in HR, career management, and job search. So I really recommend to hit the follow button there to be up to date with what's happening. We have daily tickers as well as weekly and monthly summaries. Across the 80 countries, it's a big likelihood for you to be able to find the relevant country where you're in or you plan on looking for a job or identifying and finding candidates. Now, why do we do that? Why is that so important? So those market signals that we track is basically understanding the supply of and demand for candidates. From an employer's perspective, it indicates if, as I've mentioned before, post and pray is more than enough. If unemployment is high and there's not that much demand, of course, you will receive more candidates than in a market where there is low unemployment and a lot of job ads. This also means that you can translate that into how big of a budget you need for either employer branding, recruitment efforts, including whether to hire external recruitment agencies. On the other hand, from the candidate perspective, if there's more demands for candidates, it means you need to put in less effort into your job search, less time, more space to negotiate salaries. So that's also an indicator of how much you can push during salary negotiations. Now, as I've mentioned, we're streaming on 3 platforms, YouTube, Facebook, and LinkedIn. One of you has already said hi. So if you want to comment, say hi, react, share this live stream, feel free to do so. This is supposed to be interactive. We also have a dedicated Q&A module at the end. Okay, good. So global reach. Overall, we track 3 major regions, the Americas, Africa, and Europe. As you can see, in June, the Americas, 22 countries across the Americas and 38 countries across Europe seem to be fairly in sync. Africa is doing its own thing. And I will share more details over the course of the next 15 more minutes or so. Okay, so let's get started with Europe. When we look at the demand for candidates in Europe based on the published number of job ads on LinkedIn, June brought a decrease of minus 5.68%. So in other words, went from 2.9 million to almost 8 million. Now, the spike that you see on that graph was actually June of last year. So the pre-summer period of 2021 is very different than the pre-summer period of 2022. Specifically, we have 38 countries that we track. If you are based in a green country, so in countries where demand for candidates has improved in June, it's probably a country where it's easier to find a job than in countries that have seen a decrease in the number of published job ads. Here, worth mentioning are the Netherlands. They've added in the course of June over 60,000 job ads, Austria plus 4,300 job ads, Romania another almost 2,000, Switzerland is up, Belgium is up. Now, when we look at the decreases, you can see Italy, Germany, Ireland, Sweden, Spain, Czechia, Finland, France, Ukraine have seen a decrease. If you're actively looking for a job and if you want to see what kind of demand there is for experienced managers and executives, we have a dedicated group on LinkedIn called Hidden Job Market for Experienced Managers in Europe. I recommend you hit the join button. What you have access to with that hidden job market. So far, since we've started the group, we have published 9,856 job ads that are dedicated to experienced managers and executives, out of which there are almost 10%, in other words, 900 fully remote opportunities at that level of seniority. We have also posted 256 weekly reports, and right now it is a closed group where we allow experienced managers and executives to join. So there is a relatively strict filter, and right now the group has over 6,250 group members. If you're specifically interested in going remote or staying remote, we also have a dedicated remote edition for executives. It's one of our most popular posts of Career Angels. Now, let's have a look at the global perspective. I know there's a lot of data and a lot of information. I'll walk you through that. So week 15 of 2020, we started tracking job ads, the number of published job ads in Europe. Back then, there was demand for candidates at 4.7 million job ads that were published. Week 27 of this year, it's only 2.796 million. And in between, you see the fluctuations. As I said, there was a spike last year. So pre-summer last year, at the end of June, the demand was up at 5.3 million. So right now we have a halved job market in Europe. The top 20 countries, so in week 39 of 2022, we started also tracking the number of published job ads on LinkedIn across the top 20 countries by their size of economy worldwide. You can see that in the legend, it goes from Australia, Brazil, Canada, China, France, Germany, etc., in alphabetical order, of course. So in week 39 of 2020, so after the summer 2020, 11.6 million. Again, pre-summer last year, almost 60 million. Now we're at 13.7 million. So also a decrease compared to last year, but an increase to after summer 2020. Then Africa, the top 10 biggest economies that include Algeria, Angola, Egypt, Ethiopia, Ghana, Kenya, Morocco, Nigeria, South Africa, and Tanzania. Here it is very difficult to be a candidate. That region has gone from 215,956 published job ads to barely 60,000, or not even 60,000. We also picked out 3 major economies, the US, the UK, and Germany. US, 4.4 million after the summer of 2020. Now we are at 6.7 million, so that's good news for those who are based in the States. UK went from 0.7 to 1.1 to 0.8, so similar to what's been happening in Europe. And Germany went from 1.7 million, so strong job market for candidates, to now 0.8. So the German job market has lost almost 1 million job ads since the beginning of the pandemic. Let's continue. So here, for those who prefer nice graphs, you can see again Germany, UK, and the US as an overview, May and June. And here again, the numbers with the changes in percent. In about a week's time, you can then download that data from our various sources that I mentioned at the very beginning. So what does that mean? From an employer's perspective, if you do the homework and you look at the data, you can easily then translate that into, can I post and pray? Do I have to actively source candidates using social media, including LinkedIn? Do I need to hire a recruitment agency? Do I need to request a bigger budget to do more or less active employer branding, including defining candidate personas? From both perspectives, it means once you translate the data, that it in a competitive environment, it does take 2 to 4 times more effort, and effort meaning time, budget, resources, to either find the right candidates or find a good job. So if you'd like to discuss that or need help, support in translating your own job market into what that means for you specifically, you can definitely get in touch with Career Angels. No strings attached, completely free of charge, at the email that you see on the slide. What does that mean from a career perspective? Again, the more competitive the market, the more precise you need to be in setting career goals or job search goals. You need to know how to position yourself. In other words, what we call candidate positioning or employee positioning. You need to have 2 CVs, one for humans, one for applicant tracking systems. As you might know, 99% of the Fortune 500 companies already use applicant tracking systems. 60 to 70% of job ads published and targeted at managers and executives are go through an applicant tracking system filter. You also need to make sure that you not only have a correctly filled out LinkedIn profile, but that LinkedIn profile is also optimized for the LinkedIn algorithm. And the more competitive the market, the more active you need to be across all 4 job search channels. And the job search channels, here you have the summary, but the job search channels are basically networking, getting in touch with executive search firms, direct application, and applying to job ads. Now, I want to say funny thing, but it's not funny. It's how the market has changed. And up until 2015-16, in our materials and advice our career consultants would share for executives would be ignore job ads. Right now, we know that job ads have an efficiency of almost 1/4 of those job search channels. So if you want to read more, again, here the link on the slide. I also recommend, for those who don't really know what I mean, like what you mean a CV for humans, a CV for applicant tracking systems, can you tell me more? I recommend that you download our CV ATS guides and follow the instructions there in terms of formatting and how to adapt CVs in terms of keywords to the job that you're applying to. Once you've done that, feel free to also request a CV ATS report to make sure that your CV scores at least 80% to increase your chances as a candidate on the job market. There's nothing more frustrating for both the candidates and the career consultants to hear somebody say, well, but I've sent applications to 100, over 60, 200 job ads, but nobody has replied. I've only gotten 2 interviews. When we know that It has nothing to do with you as a candidate or your competences, but the fact that, for example, your CV was not formatted the right way, or the keywords were not fine-tuned to what you have been applying. If there are other things that you'd like to ask, and understand the live session is not the place to ask questions for everybody, feel free to overall get in touch with Career Angels to simply book a career consultation, which is of course fully confidential and free of charge. Again, to those who are joining in from YouTube, Facebook, and LinkedIn, soon we'll start a Q&A session. I have some more data to share with you. So if you have questions, start formulating them, and I'll continue in the meantime. One of the markets, or one of the regions that we're active in across Europe, is the DACH region, Germany, Austria, Switzerland, that we have now also picked out to share data on. The DACH region has seen a decrease of 6.61%. Let me show you the data more specifically. Week 18, so at the beginning of May 2022, Germany had a bit more than 1 million published job ads. Now, as of 4 days ago, it's 840,891 only. Austria has added in that time period bit more than 2,500 job ads. Switzerland has lost a bit more than 2,000 job ads. Okay, then we've selected, based on the people that we saw clicked on attend on the LinkedIn event, we've selected a couple of countries to show you how your markets have been behaving. We select Belgium, Italy, Netherlands, Poland, and Sweden. And as you can see, across those countries, there's been a decrease for everybody. Let me again share the numbers with you. Belgium went from 115,000 in May to 95,000 at the beginning of July. Italy from almost 200,000 to barely, not even 150,000. Netherlands, more or less the same. Poland, more or less the same. Sweden has seen a decrease of 13,000. So if there are questions, this is now a good moment to ask them. In the meantime, while you are formulating and publishing, for those who find what we do interesting and say, well, maybe this is something I want to, an area that you want to switch to, or you are already, for example, a coach. We have 2 courses over the summer, one in Polish, one in English. The Polish Career Consultant course, I checked today morning, there's 1 more place left. The English course starts in September, on September 6th, so you can still register. If you want to find more details, the link is already posted in the comment section. For those who enjoy DIY, we also have a course on Udemy called Every Step of the Job Search Explained and Backed by Research, where you can download all of our materials. It's structured and it basically walks you through the job search process, like step by step, what to do with milestones and templates, etc. If you're not that much into Udemy, or you just want to say, well, I'm not yet sure if it's worth buying, I just want to watch a video or two, we have a very active YouTube channel, 1 in English, 1 in Polish. Okay, I can see nobody was brave enough to post a question, which is fine. I know we get a lot of questions through the LinkedIn messages and by email. I completely understand it. If you want to thank us for what we do, the know-how and tips that we share are valuable for you. You can follow our content or simply buy us a virtual coffee. That is possible nowadays. We've put together that link, of careerangels.eu/how to thank us, that you can also see in the comment section. In that case, thank you very much for joining. I wish you a good start into the summer and hope you can relax. See you in a month's time when I'll be summarizing July.